Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Julie and today you are joining me on such a super duper special episode. It is part one of my garage makeover. I am currently sitting in what is my former garage and we have transformed it into my ultimate dream home office design studio, and I cannot wait to show you all the before and afters. Before we get started, none of this could be possible without Sixpenny. Sixpenny is known for their slip-covered sofas and sectionals, which are extremely durable, super luxurious, and completely eco-friendly and green. I have been dying for a Sixpenny sectional ever since discovering them on Instagram years ago. And now that I finally have one and in my dream home office, I cannot tell you how amazing it feels, but more on that later. Let's jump right into the former garage to show you what we've been working with. Everyone loves a great before and after, and I gotta tell you, the before garage was atrocious. Let's talk about what we're dealing with. I live in a mid-century ranch-style home, and our two-car garage, while it's attached to the home, there's no direct access from the garage to the house. So naturally, it became a breeding ground for me to hoard a ton of furniture. There was some great functionality to the garage. I had one entire wall with built-ins. There's built-in shelving from floor to ceiling, and that's kind of where I housed all of my decor for events and my home. Over time, I overstuffed these shelves, and they no longer became that functional. I mean, I literally just had like a tiny little aisle leading up to these shelves, and the rest of the garage was stuffed full with storage items, seasonal items. And then once I started having kids, obviously all of their toys accumulated, their clothes accumulated. It became insane. It just felt like a never-ending cycle. I was always cleaning it out, always acquiring new things. I was donating items, selling items, but it just kept piling on and on and on. I just remember spending entire holiday weekends cleaning out the garage, and then all of a sudden I would get more stuff in. I mean, I'm pretty sure that you guys could relate, and it's just a never-ending vicious cycle. I had always dreamed of having my own home office space that also doubles as my design studio the minute I moved into this home. Before, I had a really small room that I dedicated to the home office, but it was not designed at all. I literally just had a desk in there, an old dresser, brass shelves that I had recycled from my previous apartment, and kind of just cubby storage shelves. It wasn't designed, it wasn't styled, it was just functional, like pure function. And after a while, I just became highly uninspired. After I had the second baby, I knew that Kamari and Khalees needed their own room. Even if they weren't going to sleep in the room, we needed a dedicated space to put all of their clothes and all of their toys, and also become a makeshift guest room in case we needed it when grandma came by. The next natural step became converting my former office into the girls' room and transforming the entire garage into my new design studio. That meant getting rid of a ton of stuff. We started the renovation when I was about 6 months pregnant because, mind you, up to that point, I'm still working on my client projects. I'm still creating content weekly for YouTube, not to mention Instagram, Pinterest, and pretty much all of my other social media channels and my blog. So I am a busy working mom. I enlisted my team to help make over the garage, and over the course of 3 months, I mean, we got it to where it finally is today. Let's talk about function first and how I planned the design. With the garage space, you saw how much stuff we cleared out, but I still needed a space for seasonal items and some of the decor that I wanted to hang on to. Once I measured the entire space, I knew that I needed to dedicate a section that was hidden in the back of the garage to house these items. I carved out about 6 feet worth of space, and that is where the water heater is and all of the junk that I kind of want to neatly hide away. I had existing metal racks that I wanted to reuse, so I planned the depth of that storage space according to the size and measurements of my metal racks. I really wanted to mimic the existing architectural details of my mid-century home, so I absolutely knew that the beams were going to be kept exposed, and I would just stain them in a slightly darker color to bring out the natural patina of the wood. I had my carpenter carve out a really soft archway. That archway would be the passage between the storage area and my home office. I wanted to create something really soft and inviting, and since the space was already so small, there's no way that I could fit a doorway in there, so a passageway was the perfect solution. In order to cover the opening, I simply installed a drapery rod on the back side of the arch, and I draped it with a really simple window treatment. The before garage was just framed out. Once I demoed all of the shelves, I knew that I needed to add in a ton of natural light in here. So I added some strategic windows, a floor-to-ceiling window that looked out into my courtyard, and a new door to gain access from the courtyard and my home into the garage. I also added air conditioning and closed up all of the open vents in the ceiling. I'm currently waiting on insulation panels that I'm going to DIY on the back of my existing garage doors, but in the meantime, these drapery panels are just gonna have to do. Let's talk about the inspiration and the color palette behind the entire design. I always talk about gathering inspiration before you embark on any interior design project. This singular step is so crucial and so imperative to the success of your design. Without a roadmap in place, you could get sidetracked and derailed by the endless options that are out there today. This is where Sixpenny comes in. The minute I laid eyes on this Olay sectional, I was completely in love. To state that it is my dream sectional is such a huge understatement because it became the catalyst for the entire design of my new home office. Sixpenny describes this whimsical sectional as a playful mix of flirty and refined, and that's kind of how I see my style. I love Olay's plush rounded back cushions and squishy seat. I'm obsessed with the slipcover because it's neatly fixed and it has a tight back, except that you can remove the cushions for laundering. I love the modern mix of materials with the slim peak of the solid oak base. As a modular sectional, there's so many ways for me to play around with the configuration and move it around as I see fit. Their cushions are filled with feather down, but I know that downfill isn't for everyone, so they also offer all of their products in a polyfill that is as similar in feel as possible. I've done my research, so I know that their distributor only uses non-live plucked down feathers, which they obtain as natural byproducts of the food industry. They're audited and inspected by the Feather and Down Association every year, so their certification is renewed annually, which I love. I paired this Olay sectional with the Xenia coffee table that's made out of reclaimed pine. It's so stunning in person. Clearly you can see it from all of the details. It has concentric carvings on its legs, and the reclaimed pine top gently tapers into this bow shape. I am completely obsessed with the combination of both of these pieces together. The Olay large corner sectional is a medium weight linen in a jasmine rice color, and combined with the reclaimed pine of the Xenia coffee table has such a refined look. It's casual but refined, effortless but luxurious, and this pairing really inspired the entire color palette of the space. You might be wondering, why would I need a huge sectional for a private home office? And I'll tell you exactly why. I've been designing interiors for 22 years now, 14 years of which I've owned my own business. I think by this point, I know exactly what I need to function. I need a desk, I need a laptop, and I need a place to rest and recharge and really create. The minute I would get up from my desk, and sometimes that's like 8 hours in front of the laptop, I would just plop down on my sofa or any chair that was nearby. I realized over time that not only did I need a really inspirational, beautiful, loungy piece to rest and relax on, I needed a really comfortable space to just think and sometimes fall asleep and dream about my projects and conceptualize all of these ideas for my clients. So the moral of the story is, once you figure out what your needs are and how you want the space to function, your only job is to look for a piece of furniture that is going to help support that primary need. I chose the sectional fabric first. It is a medium weight linen in a jasmine rice color, and I used that singular color to inspire the entire palette of the space. I always talk about choosing the furniture first because paint could be customized to any color of the spectrum. I absolutely knew that I wanted a really soft lime wash on the walls, so I enlisted my painter to glaze the walls and paint me this really beautiful lime wash finish. As you can see, I still have my garage doors, so there's almost a very industrial / refined vibe in here. I still have the mechanics of all the garage doors, so I wanted the flooring to kind of echo that industrial vibe. I simply wanted to polish the concrete flooring and leave it as is, but over time, I mean, this home is over 50 years old. You can see all of the stains and all of the etching and all of the paint that's kind of seeped into the finish. So while polished concrete was my dream flooring for this space, there was just so many imperfections that we decided a simple coat of paint would do. I chose this mossy green color for the floors, and I love how it echoes the natural landscaping that you can see outside my courtyard. The ceilings were not in the best shape. Although I loved the exposed beams, I actually have that in the interior of my home, I wanted to keep it in its natural state. We simply stained it a little bit of a darker color than what was existing because it needed to hide all of the imperfections. Moving on to all of the design details and how I resolved some of the key issues we had in the space. With exposed beams, lighting could be a huge challenge. How do you install an overhead light fixture with exposed beams and all of the mechanics of an existing garage door? The best way to light a space such as this is on the walls. I haven't sourced any wall sconces or any lighting yet, but I did plan for it. I had my electrician outfit the space for future lighting purposes. Since I haven't decided on any lighting now, I mean, I'm not in a rush to finish the space, I had him run electrical in the walls and on the overhead beams so that we could plan for it in the future. When I'm ready, it'll be there and I don't have to cut all of these holes in the drywall just to find it. Right now, the back of the garage doors have not been addressed. The secondary function of my home office and my design studio is also a place to film. I mean, I'm filming right now, but you could hear the police sirens kind of going back and forth. You could hear the ambulance. You can hear helicopters whirring overhead. So I definitely plan on adding insulation panels with acoustic properties to the back of the garage doors. But right now, I simply need something pretty to look at. Using really basic shower hooks and the existing rod of the garage doors, I installed these curtains with a blackout property. These blackout curtains have a thermal property to it so that at least while I'm waiting for the insulation panels to come in, it's not going to get too hot or too cold in here. So you'll see that there's areas where the rod is clearly thicker than the other side. I could run a standard shower curtain over here, but the diameter of this coil is just so much fatter. So this is how I'm addressing the loop for these areas. So we'll be using these bungee cords to kind of loop into the back of the tab over that enlarged part of the rod, and that should hang up really nicely. For the smaller window behind the sectional, I installed a light filtering bamboo blind. I love that the natural finish of the Roman shade echoes the finishing from the coffee table and the oak base of the sectional. It feels warm, it feels elevated, and it feels really inviting in here. I typically would never face my desk against a wall, but in this space, it totally made sense. I still am in a command position because I can see who's coming in and out of the entry door, and at the same time, I could watch my girls play in the courtyard since it's completely private. The afternoon sun streaming through this window gets a bit overwhelming, so this linen sheer is perfect to diffuse all of that light. I love to layer all of my window treatments. The first line of defense to diffuse all of that natural light are the linen sheers. I coupled that with ivory colored drapery panels that I actually just repurposed from my previous home office. Right now, this combination works and it functions exactly as it should. Down the line, I may change up the color, but like I said, I am not in a rush. I really want to take my time and use the space, see how I feel, and allow the color palette to naturally come to me. As you can see, the space is far from done, but the big picture is in place. I have my lounge corner, I have my work corner, I have all of my plants, and that is enough for me for now. Of course, I'll be adding a ton more artwork, a ton more accessories. I still want to style the space. I need to add strategic lighting because right now there's really no synthetic light in space. I may even replace the garage doors down the line and upgrade it to something that's a little bit more stylish and something that I can actually expose from the inside out. This makeover really taught me to learn to live with less. Why waste valuable real estate holding on to items that you've only used once, might use again, or might not even ever use in the future? I used to host gatherings here probably every other weekend and design a lot of events. I no longer do that, so why was I holding on to all of these items? I felt such a huge sense of relief when I was able to donate a lot of the items, give it away, and sell it off. And now I have this beautiful office space to call my own. I feel like I have been so deserving of a space to call my own, where there's no toys, there's no Cocomelon running in the background. It just feels like a very grown-up space. That's it for today's video. What did you think of my garage turned home office design studio transformation? What are your favorite parts about this makeover? Is there anything that you yourself would do differently? This is just part 1 of my office makeover. I'm gonna come back with a part 2 of behind the design to show you how I styled the space, all of the pieces that came into it, how I chose lighting, how I sourced accessories, where I shopped, and offer you a ton of resources on budget-friendly alternatives so you can get the look for less. Thank you again to Sixpenny for sponsoring today's episode. I'll leave a link in the description box below of all of the pieces that made it into my home office makeover. I cannot wait to show you how the space evolves. I cannot wait to show you my new garden path that leads up to my new home office. All of that is going to be detailed in a future video. If you love this makeover, please give this video a thumbs up. Share this video with anyone you know who's looking to convert their garage into their dream home office. And of course, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Click that little notification bell to be notified of new videos that we drop every Tuesday. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope you're having a fabulous day, and I'll see you in the next one.